Welcome back, everybody. We are here taking a look at Hurricane Francine. Um, as we are waiting here, let's just make sure we are live currently, and I'm gonna see if this does work and we don't have the echoing voice. I'm very sorry about that if anyone was watching the stream, but we are just gonna be looking at everything currently, seeing if I am good. Weather Kingdom, weird channel. Question is, am I even live? I am live. Okay, good. And speaking on that, I might major tropical update, huge hurricane possible. So it is officially a hurricane. As we are waiting here, let's just make sure we are live currently, and I'm gonna see if this does work and we don't have the echoing voice. I'm very sorry about that if anyone was watching the stream, but we are just gonna be looking at everything currently. Okay, we are currently waiting on some stuff here. We are right now, I'm I'm gonna get a new page here. Let's search this radar. Alright. Sorry if you guys do hear me cough. I'm not gonna try and cough, but you guys might hear me cough. So this is a awesome website. Thanks to Pat's Path Predictor, he did introduce me to this website, and I think this is a great satellite imagery for these storms. So this is the latest look of actually Francine, and to be honest, things are looking much better than last night when we were on the Pat's Path Prediction live stream here. This is my own live stream. I am just looking at everything going on. So I am officially live. By the way, we are trying to get to very sorry about that if anyone was watching the stream. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. But wow. So what do we see here? Let's actually get this on playing image loop. Seizure warning. It does flash a little bit. Sometimes it does, sometimes it does not. So if it does, just giving you guys the heads up. Seizure warning. This is taking a bit to load. I'm not liking the fact it is doing that currently, but we are watching the satellite imagery here, and one thing we have noticed is a very nice it's definitely not the best looking storm, but we are definitely getting better organized. This is where I would say the low pressure is currently. How can I tell that? Because of this nice convection burst that happened earlier right over the center. That is what it has made Hurricane Francine. Another thing I'm noticing that has I think is going to continue to develop is more convection on this quadrant here, and I think this is going to become more of a north. I think this is just going to really come a nothing too much on this side of the storm. I don't think we're not gonna see that much convection. If anything, we're gonna see from the center, but a pretty nice look to satellite. I mean, I wish I knew the satellite a little bit sooner, but sorry you guys, I am a little bit sick. So another thing we have noticed too, you can tell there has been a consistent band feature that has developed too, that is wrapping in from the northern side, and this is why we've been seeing these bit of convection burst on this low level center, and I'm very curious how this is going to continue to show, is that's just going to continue to deepen Hurricane Francine. There is Louisiana, and I do think right now a Category 1 landfall is very possible. Wouldn't surprise me a Category 2, if I'm going to be completely honest here with you guys. Alright, so besides looking at this, let's take a look at the IR imagery. This is a very important thing here, and wow, let's play this out and see what we are currently looking at. And I'm very curious what's going to happen. Is that northern side, it's definitely a little bit tilted, I would say, so that will prevent a true eye to develop on satellite as of this time. That's probably due to a bit of the shear that has started to impact the storm. So let that load. Alright, so that is the latest satellite. So one thing we can actually take away from this point is it doesn't look too bad, actually. From definitely earlier, it's not looking too shabby. It's definitely looking better organized tonight than it did last night. So how can I explain this? So yes, you could tell we've been having this convection burst on this northern side, been wrapping around. You can tell there's a new convection burst here. There's even some purples here. But one thing we've noticed too is we got southern side convection burst. You can tell one right here. So basically our low level center is somewhere in here in this deep thunderstorm convection, and it's starting to wrap around on all quadrants, and I do think this is going to continue to get better organized. I do think this could be the beginning phases of rapid intensification. That could change, that could not. I just don't know at this current given time. But if we Alright, so there's that latest satellite imagery. Definitely looking a lot better tonight than it did the last few nights. Let's now take a look at some other stuff too. So here is the latest stats on Hurricane Francine. 75-mile-an-hour winds, 982 millibars. Clearly the pressure has dropped with it. This is that latest National Hurricane Cone. Actually, instead of using this, let's go to National Hurricane Center here on this. Let's just make sure we have no other tabs. OBS is still open. So there's that National Hurricane Center. There it is, the next 7 days. We do have another area that has an 80% and a 40%. This is probably going to become our next named storm, and this one has pretty much has died. But there it is, 982 moving northeast at 10 miles an hour. I feel like it's kind of moving a little bit slower, but I might be wrong on that. let's take a look at the new. I want to use the new cone here. So there it is, the new cone, and this cone I think is so much better, honestly. So one thing you can tell is we can see the hurricane warnings way better than what we did on the last one, 75 miles an hour. There is an actually a big amount of hurricane warnings, tropical storm warnings, and even tropical storm watches, and even hurricane watches. So in the red, right here in the red, they are hurricane warnings. In the blue, that is tropical storm warnings, and in this purplish area, this is probably hurricane watches. I do think right now they do have a 90-mile-an-hour hurricane does make landfall probably tomorrow afternoon. Okay, that could be delayed by a few hours, or that can be sped up in a few hours. That just all depends on the storm in general. But let's take a look at some models. Let's actually, before that, let's take a look at the recon data, because we do have recon going right back into this. This mission did finish. They did actually find hurricane force winds, and they did find a strengthening storm to a 982 in that recon. They did find, once again, hurricane force winds on the northeast, northwest, and the southeast side of this system. So much better actually than the previous recon, where it actually had 70 miles an hour without anything here. As of this giving time. So let's take a nice look at some things here. This is that one recon, and this is the recon they're currently going in. Clearly, they even found hurricane force winds, and I'm very curious if they are going to find hurricane force winds even further on the southeast, western side. I do think it's possible, but they even found 75 knots, and they even found they might up this to 80 miles an hour. I wouldn't be too surprised. So do expect maybe, because clearly they did find about 85 miles an hour, and then on another recon past they did find about 70 miles an hour knots. So clearly they are finding at least hurricane force winds, and I'm very curious if they are going to find more. But let's take a look at some of this stuff here. We take a look at the HERF model currently, and this is kind of pretty legit. 982 as of, and then as like a 980 by 11 p.m. I kind of believe in that. HERF actually has it in a good position too, right next to it. They do expect this getting to a 978 by 2 a.m. Could be even stronger. We just don't know. And then by the morning of 5 a.m., this is just wrapping up even more. 975 on the HERF. And then we do drop it to 973 by 8 a.m. We continue this, and now it's at a 969 by 11 a.m. And then by 2 p.m., this is very curious. So tomorrow it is Wednesday, and I do not have work. If this does make a landfall after school, I will be going live. This is around 2 p.m. It's continuing to strengthen here from a 969 to a 967. So, and the HERF indicates that strengthening could be all the way up to landfall, and it goes from a 967 to a 966 by 5 p.m. Still hasn't made a landfall, but one thing we notice is a much further east landfall than previous thought, and this continues. This has been continuing to show that, and the more it does that, it kind of delays the front, and it actually could help it from not weakening before landfall. Then it does make landfall 970, 977, and then from there it just weakens. But this is definitely a doable solution with the model here because of the environment. So we continue to keep looking. Recon, they did. Okay, so we look at the latest. We take a look at the satellite imagery. I can definitely see this happening. A storm like this with a continuing strengthen. I don't know if an eye is going to form. I do think it's possible, honestly. But that is actually a doable solution with the HERF. Alright? I'm going to be just straight out honest there. I can definitely see that. The winds, I'm very curious if this does show. It shows about 62. So 10 miles an hour shows about 72. So this is, let's go to 11. Shows about 68. So this is definitely possible with the winds. And you can tell the winds do continue to go up. We do see about 90 knots. That's actually about 100 to about 105 miles an hour on the HERF. If we take a look at the 850 millibar winds, yeah, a bit stronger here on this department. Kind of shows a landfall with a 110 knots. That's about 120 miles an hour possibility. But this could definitely be still a Category 2. Category 3 is definitely a little bit less than what we thought yesterday. That is because of the sudden stall of the intensification that we saw yesterday. But we continue to look at this, and you can tell by 11 p.m. it's about 980 on the Hemin. This she goes to 971, 976, kind of stalls around that millibar. But then we see something new, 976 to 970 as it gets closer to landfall, and then 970 to a 968, and then makes landfall to 966. So it's kind of interesting that it's a bit more south and east, and that indicates maybe a bit of a stronger system. So we're really going to have to watch that too. That ain't the only latest update on the Hemin. We kind of look at this. This actually is a little bit weaker. And still strengthens to a 974 by AM. And this is now a 971 by 2 p.m. and then 974. So on this model, it does weaken it just a bit before landfall. This is only one model. It about weakens about 3 to 4 millibars. Nothing too dramatic, but that time will make the difference. But look at the landfall. Definitely a bit more east than previous expected. We take a look at another hurricane model as of right now. You can tell this does become a 969 by 8 a.m., 971, 972, 975, 976. So the half speed does want weakening before landfall. So why does it show that? Because of maybe some dry air. And it all, honestly, it just depends. If we take a look at the new European model, has a 988 by 5, 8 p.m. 986, 11 p.m. 984. So we're getting close to that, and it's kind of a bit lower, but it does indicate continuing strengthening by 2 a.m. and then a 969. That is very interesting. The European 18Z1 wants by 5 a.m. a 969, then weakens to a 971, 970, 973, but then right before landfall a 968. That and wow, the new Euro, you guys, wants a 965 millibar landfall. That is potentially a major hurricane. So that's actually new data for me too. I was not expecting the Euro to actually do that. And that is just very unique to me that the new Euro shows strengthening all the way up to landfall. So we're going to have to really watch that because we do have quite a bit of time for some more strengthening. Another model we can look at is the GFS. We can just look at all these 18Zs and see. Oh, 18Z is still coming out on this. So, kind of has this by 2 a.m. I don't know. 2 a.m. 980. That's kind of wrong now. I think it's gonna be lower. 979, 978, and then makes landfall as a 979. So keeps it about where it currently is, but doesn't really weaken it. So that's a bit interesting, more news than what we were talking about a few days ago on that department here. But we continue to take a look. Let's take a look at the icon. Remember, icon was the one that actually got this one right. I can't even lie here. I mean, it does show a 976 landfall, and curious to say, after that, we can maybe look at some other tropics. I'm kind of really just focused on this one because then I'm probably going to head off for the night. But I'm very curious if I'm going to have time to do a live stream tomorrow. It's going to be a close call. Sometimes these storms make a landfall a few hours early. That's the only concerning part to this. We notice here on the NAM 978 by 5 a.m. I think this could be once again a little bit stronger because we're already kind of finding that. 977, 981, 980, 980, 984 as it makes landfall. That's a bit iffy, and wow, the track just keeps on shifting east. It's just very interesting to me that we just keep seeing this shift to the east, and that's going to hopefully extend our time, and I will be able to stream this out. This was kind of the CMC earlier. Nah, I don't. 990, that's already past that. Let's take a look at the R gem here. I guess let's just take a look at as many models. Kind of indicates strengthening, a bit strengthening throughout tonight. Definitely strengthening about up to landfall to like a 984. We're kind of already lower that, but look at those rain bands. Pretty unique. Pretty unique. We take a look at the FV3 high res here. Definitely has strengthening. I'm curious on why. I would say it probably is doing this because of the further east track. Her model has a kind of just withstanding its strength. Doesn't really weaken or strengthen it. And then, you know, the lovely NAM, yeah, it shows that 979, 75, 9... Okay, actually, I can really see the new NAM. Wow, actually, the new NAM is actually not that bad. It shows a major for a bit, but then weakens it. 968, 970, 965 right here. Makes landfall at like 8 p.m. tomorrow. That is interesting, you guys. I mean, the position's pretty true there. I'm very curious. I've been noticing this east and south shift. So, this could end up being more of an evening threat. And that could be a nice live stream for me. So, we are going to have to really watch that according to the models here. Let's get the latest image loop here on the satellite imagery, and then we're going to take a look at aircraft, and then take a look at the environment it's currently in and see what is the true. Wow, okay, so definitely some new things here. So once again, we have a storm that keeps getting better and better organized, I will say. We do have another explosion of deep thunderstorm convection on this part of the system. That's very interesting. That's actually heading right into the center. Weird. I think the storm is definitely looking a lot better. It's definitely still got some of that work to do, but it could be worse. So, is this true color actually? Curious. They have a lot of satellite imageries here. Interesting color spree. Yeah, right here. That, wow, that really does look pretty good, not gonna lie. That, that doesn't look too bad. Thank you, you guys, for all your support. Wow, look at that deep thunderstorm convection developing. That's gonna really help this system too. Look at that. That nice deep thunderstorm convection. It's really gonna help this thing to have those hurricane force winds. And we are noticing they are going right back into this. Wow, 995 already millibar pressure they're already finding. That's pretty unique. So I guarantee the pressure's dropping. They're probably, for the 11 p.m. update, I see them going 80 and whatever the last pass will be. I can definitely see that here in the system. No new light, no new light. Wait. No, we do not have lightning in the center. That would have been a huge, wow, look at that. Definitely not really dry or getting into it right now. Very moist. That's very good on this system. Waiting on recon. Yeah. Curious. It is definitely looking a lot better. That's a huge bonus on the system. How is that? Even by 3 p.m., it's not even had made landfall. So I'll let you guys know if this is going to be stream worthy. Look at that. Wow, look at some of those supercells. That's very interesting, you guys. Even the NAM doesn't even show any eye developing. I noticed that. Let's take a look at some of the peak surge and stuff here. Let's take a look at this. Wow, so, alright, let me read this. 1 to 2 feet for Santa Rosa, Okaloosa County line. That's in Pensacola, and that's in like the Florida area. Then the Alabama and Florida border is under that up to 3 feet surge. Then Mobile Bay 2 to 4 feet. Mississippi and Alabama border 2 to 4 feet. then 3 to 5 feet for these areas, 2 to 4 in Point A Hisha, or that's probably for the 3 to 5 feet, and then 2 to 4 for the mouth of the Mississippi River, 4 to 7 feet for the Port Forction, and then 5 to 10 feet in the red. That's very important. Then 3 to 5 feet over here, 2 to 4, and then 1 to 3, all the way down to Freeport. So this could go up a little bit. This can go down a bit. Just all depends. The latest rainfall thinking out of the National Hurricane Center, 8 to 12 inches, where this does make landfall, but a pretty widespread 4 to 6 inches, and then 6 to 8 inches. 2, the flood threat, very well pronounced here on this. Very curious on the tornado risk. I know I've heard quite a bit of people talking about it. Let's take a look at the tornado risk, if this is worthy. And we do have a slight risk here for tornadoes. Definitely in this part. I can definitely see some big time water spouts and tornadoes. These are the jet stream in this too. If we take a look here at the NAM model, because I think the NAM actually did pretty good this run. We could take a look at some of these supercells, and let me see if I can get a close-in view of some of these thunderstorms. If I can. I really can't, damn it. Let's take a look at the NAM 3 cam here. Yes, this is perfect here. So, wow, look at that. You see the storm very, very well organized here. Wow. One thing I do notice, though, that's why I think this is going to be a bit of a tornado risk. Let's take a look at the significant tornado perimeter. Definitely in that quadrant of this storm here. That frontal quadrant. Why do I think it's going to be a pretty big tornado risk? Alright. Is we're going to have a jet stream. And this jet stream is screaming through in the upper levels. Alright. That's thanks to all the outflow. But at the same time, do you see what we have here? We got a making landfall storm. So we're going to have that cyclonic flow going right into that jet stream. So what do you get there? You get some potential rotation in some of these cells. You get those hook echoes. And that's going to be very important. I do think we're going to have quite a bit of hook echoes along these bands tomorrow. So do be prepared for some water spouts and tornadoes. But I'm noticing that pretty well here on the NAM model and some of the other models too. And definitely a supercell composite. Definitely in these bands. I mean, look at that. Just very pronounced into the Mobile area. Another thing, it's a very moist air, very humid. And the most unstable Cape and Shear is even there too. Look at that. Some pretty good Cape and Shear for a tropical system. Temperatures actually pretty warm. 81, 82, up to the 80s. Dew point temps, once again, will be ridiculous because this is a tropical system in the 80s to even some areas the upper 80s. So that's a very moist environment. And then, you know, there's our wind gust here as we make a landfall. Clearly looking at 90 knots here, about 100 knots. So major hurricane force. We do see some of these areas in these frontal bands get about 70, 80 knots. That's about 90 to 100 mile an hour. But the winds will stay pretty strong even afterwards. Total precip accumulations with the NAM, wow. Pretty aggressive here. About a foot possible in this area. That's all depending with the track and stuff. So just keep an eye on it. I'm going to be just completely honest with you. There's a big tornado risk, flooding risk, wind threat. It's just all on the table at this point. And is it me? Let me just image this loop out just for 1 second. Because I was kind of getting concerned for 1 little second here. That winds are getting strong on that southwestern side with the newest aircraft. Interesting. No, it's not. Yeah, nope. We're good. I thought for a second we had an eye forming on satellite. That would have been crazy, but that's not an eye feature. Right here. I don't think it's an eye. Because if that was an eye, we are going to be in some pretty major trouble if that was an eye forming. We're waiting until the 11 p.m. update. Actually, I'm kind of curious. I actually am kind of curious on that. It's no way that's an eye. But on radar, I mean, the eye has opened. I mean, it's perfectly there. I'm actually very curious with the latest recon, what they're going to find and stuff. That's going to be quite interesting to me. Let's get the latest here. You see that eye feature? I'm actually extremely curious. Yo, imagine if that was an eye right there forming. That would be... Yeah, let's just say rapid intensification. We are going to actually realize. I'm actually going to really bullseye that out. And make sure that's no eye feature. Because if that was an eye feature... all I'm going to say is... We're in a bit of trouble tonight. If that was an eye feature. But I... Mark my words. I don't think it is. I hope it's not an eye feature. No, it's not. But that is some very deep thunderstorm convection. I'm very actually curious if there's some lightning in that. That's really going to help. Yeah, it's no I. It could be actually. I don't know. I don't think it is because of the deep thunderstorm convection, but let me quickly check here on something. Let's just keep playing here. I just want to make sure there's no lightning. No, we are good. There is no lightning, but I don't think that's an eye feature. If it is, I guess we're about to find out on aircraft recon. Any questions, you guys? Any questions? I think the Nam actually did pretty good this run. We can take a look at some of these supercells. Let me see if I can get a close in view of some of these thunderstorms. Very curious. Thank you guys for all the support. Thank you for getting me to 100. Our next goal is 150 subscribers or 200 subscribers. That is the next pretty big goal out of this. Wow, that it's definitely looking better. That's all I'm gonna give Francine right now. It's looking better. It's 10:45. 11 p.m. update's gonna be coming out soon. I think they're gonna do it, and whatever they find here, Wow, we got some breaking news, you guys. We did find hurricane force winds now on the southwestern side. So we got hurricane force winds on all quadrants now of this system. And we are currently at a still 978.1. We're about to see it. I'll say probably 978, 977. But we did actually find some hurricane force winds on the southern side. We're going to see if we do find stronger winds on that northern side currently. That is the latest breaking news, you guys. We have breaking news. We are now finding hurricane force winds on so that's actually good break. That's not good breaking news. My bad. But they did find hurricane force winds now on that side. So definitely getting better organized, I would say, tonight than what we have previously seen. Very curious what they're going to find on this northern side now. That's going to be a bit of curious. I'm wondering if they're going to find 80-mile-an-hour winds. That's going to be a interesting. Wow, look at that convection though. Yo, is it me or that looks like the eye? Or am I just going crazy right now? Does that, if that is, I can't tell. To me it looks like one. But it's not because it's getting just screamed. It's just being completely pushed out. Only if it's recentering itself. That would have been a different story, but I don't think it is. But it's definitely looking pretty organized tonight. Pretty organized. Alright, you guys, National Hurricane Center is out. We are going to be taking a look at the National Hurricane Center. We just got the new update. Just guess down in the comments below of the latest. I kind of think they went a bit early on this here. So now it's a 980 millibar storm, so the pressure's dropped 2 millibars. 75 mile an hour, they are keeping it at a 75. Interesting. Moving northeast at 10, 980, 75 mile an hour winds. So, let's take a look at the discussion. So they do say okay, so they do say both the NOAA and Air Force hurricane hunters have been investigating Francine tonight, and the data they collected were the basis for an upgrading it to a hurricane a few hours ago. The maximum 700 flight level winds measured was 76 knots, which supports an intensity about 65 mile an hour. The aircraft data also indicates that the minimum pressure has fallen several millibars to 980. Deconvection has been increasing near the center, and radar images indicate that the inner core has developed. There is still some dry air, however, outside of the core region. Alright, so this is actually very interesting here. You guys, we're actually going to take a look at this. We're going to read this here. Deep, let's actually make that yellow. Let's make this yellow here. And read this here. Deep convection has been increasing near the center. Piece number one that they say. Then they say, and radar images indicate that an inner core has developed. There is still some dry air, however, outside of the core region. So we did have a dry air in the core, but now we actually have dry air outside of the core. So officially, this says a now developed core once again, and this could once again go through rapid intensification. Francine, this is a little bit more. We're going to skip through that. We already know about the motion. Should accelerate with expected landfall afternoon or evening. We kind of know that. The northeast spill, the models. Now that okay, this is actually very interesting here, you guys. Another very important to their discussion. Now that Francine has a well-organized core, significant strengthening seems likely through Wednesday morning. While the system remains over warm waters and in a low wind shear environment conditions, the hurricane regional models are quite aggressive and show Francine strengthening quickly, while dire actual status models show much less intensification. The National Hurricane Intensity Forecast is between those solutions and continue to show nearly a Category 2 strength Wednesday morning. A noticeable increase of shear intrusion of dryer should end opportunities for strengthening just before reaching the coast. Rapid weakening is expected after. So this is a interesting discussion that we continue to look at. Their latest is keeping it at 90 miles an hour. I do think 100, 105 is definitely possible. But now, this is from the National Hurricane Center. We are in the rapid intensification. This should be the period of rapid intensification. So it's a very unique here. latest update of the National Hurricane Center. So, you guys heard it from the man, from them. It ain't just us talking about it. This has developed pretty organized here. So, into tomorrow morning, we got all night then. We got into quite a bit into tomorrow morning to see what happens here. And yeah, that, I mean, it's interesting to me. It's not the eye, but all I'm gonna say is the structure continues to get better organized, and that deep thunderstorm convection is going exactly right into the center, and you could tell some noticeable eye feature bands trying to develop. So we might be able to pull out an eye after all. I am thinking now, as of the latest information I have gotten. But that is the latest National Hurricane Center update. Very interesting. Yeah, the core is definitely looking a lot better. And then Future Radar keeps the core actually really intact. And in the next 24 hours, wow. It's very interesting. I mean, this makes a landfall even further east, you guys. On my um, Future Radar. Oh, we got breaking news. We got breaking news, you guys. They just found much stronger winds. Holy cow. Holy cow. We just found breaking news, you guys. I was not expecting it that strong. They did find much stronger hurricane force winds on this side of the system. Wow. They are finding 86 knots. This is flight level. Alright. Wow, and they did find a pressure of 978. Wow. But the wind takes my mind blown. They are finding 86 would be about 96 miles an hour. If this is definitely rapidly intensifying, and I could now, I mean, after seeing this, I'm gonna have to see a little bit more, but rapid intensification is definitely here. 978 millibars. I mean, the winds are catching up to this, and that new convection is gonna really help this system to continue to pop off. I was not expecting that. That's 96. So if you do the math, subtract. It doesn't even matter at this point because they already did their update. But they could have an emergency update, or by the 2 a.m. update, this could be around a 90 mile an hour storm, or maybe even a 95 mile an hour storm. Wouldn't surprise me one bit now, because 86 subtracted because it's flight level, so let's go to surface. It's about 76 knots, and then turn that to miles an hour. It's about 86 miles an hour. So if this is true, we did just found sustained winds in the surface area around 85 mile an hour winds. So if this is true, I'm very curious what they are gonna say about the latest recon. I was not expecting that one bit, you guys. Oh, wow. Definitely intensifying because you could tell. Look at that eye wall. We're starting to notice an eye wall's trying to develop on satellite imagery. This is absolutely crazy. I wish I could stream this all night. I would be down to stream this all night with you guys. Wow. I honestly don't know why they didn't push it to 80. I would have. Personally, I would. Lightning on the southern side, that's pretty. Wow. I was not expecting that, you guys. One bit. Yeah, this is definitely getting at that look. Core is definitely has developed. They say strengthening, significant strengthening, so. Holy cow, look at that. That tells a story right there, my friend. That literally tells you the perfect story. Wow, look at that. That is literally right here, you guys. That is an eye wall. Right here, that's the eye wall that has developed. And we got this huge convection. What's going to happen is it's just going to wrap around. This is definitely in the rapid strengthening period, you guys. Just keeps looking better and better. This is absolutely breaking news. No doubt breaking news that we are seeing a strengthening hurricane at this point. 86. That took me by surprise. Not even gonna lie with you guys on that one. That's very, very intense winds. And then they went west. The only thing I do not like about this, it looks like they're leaving the system. I think they're done with the system. Because they're like going in their passageway. So I think they are done with the recon. And if that's true, then wow, that's mind blowing to me. I was not expecting that one bit. Sorry for the coughing. I was not expecting that at all. How how is the her model? Wow. So her model's pretty it's curious. What I noticed on the radar, this is like landfall and everything. It's on my phone. You guys cannot see it. Just give me a heads up. Definitely a strengthening eye wall. Definitely noticeable on radar. But where I see landfall, oh, and now the radar's zooming out that far. It does look good though. It looks like this is definitely in that rapid intensification. So this stream is all dedicated to, and one thing is it's gonna be a pretty sad event tomorrow because this is doing it on the day of 9/11, and I think tomorrow is the day of the peak of the hurricane season. So could we have Francine? I don't know. I have a bad feeling about Francine right now. Kind of not a good feeling right now. What I'm seeing with the current eye wall, definitely rapidly intensifying. I'm sorry if you guys were the ones watching the 9/11 and you guys have to deal with this hurricane tomorrow. I do have my thoughts and prayers with you guys, and I do wish the best for you guys and the best recovery, because I know this one is looking pretty serious. Even if it doesn't strengthen anymore, it's still gonna cause some major issues for everyone that's just trying to respect the day of 9/11. So there's my thoughts on that there. Wow, they actually definitely hurricane. What? Yo, this got even stronger. They even find the pressure that low. The statutory pressure is probably 979. But they're still finding strong hurricane force winds as far out. 68, wow. They found at 90 knots. That's 100 miles an hour, my friend. We have a confirmed. We do have a report on the National Hurricane Center. Not a National Hurricane Center, but Recon does show about 100 mile an hour winds. Either way, $14. So they, let me see these here. 57 knots, and that east dropsand. Alright, so there they do have a dropsand for it is 980 millibars. That was the recorded dropsand out of that. I think the latest pass. Yeah. $53 knots. 980 millibars. That is that latest recon. It looks like they are leaving this. Only if they're gonna do one more pass. And do something like this. They actually might do that. I pray they do that. If they do that, we are staying live until they do another pass. I will keep my word on that. We will. That deep thunder convection right in the center is just not looking good. And with all this other convection developing, I don't like the look of it. It's reminding me of a nasty look. But I do know there's some talks, besides this Hurricane Francine, of another system developing. And in general with the tropics. So let's just take a look at the North Atlantic. Take a second from yeah, I just actually, speaking of this, there's apparently some signs on the GEFS ensembles of a Caribbean storm trying to develop in one of these weeks. So let's see how Francine goes. Then we do see another tropical system. Oh, whoa. Okay. Let's hold the phone. So we get an area off the coast. We get an area here, and we have that system. This one becomes a tropical storm, actually makes landfall. That could definitely be possible. I can see that as a storm makes landfall in the Carolinas. And then after that, we do see some more development in the MDR and Gulf of Mexico for September 26th. So that's interesting. Looks like tropics is not gonna die, actually. Looks like tropics are gonna withstand their fierce 12Z run. Is very cute. Watching that. So, whoa. I was not expecting that. No one has told me this. That will be a interesting actually system. You guys. I was not seeing that. I don't know if I was blinded, but if anyone's watching, you see how that system, look how this one then becomes a hurricane actually in the North Carolina. That will be a hurricane. That will be tropical storm hurricane. Then we do see this one form, and this one takes the cake here. 958 millibars. So we actually do see two more name systems. We actually do see a consistency on this too. That is very interesting. That system will be a part of that. I mean, in the next few days, we're actually going to have to watch that because that is in the Gulf Stream, and if we do look at waters, that's definitely possible. This is less than 10 days out. Potentially, if you guys are in the Carolinas, Virginia, I would be now watching out for something because it's not just the GFS, it's your lovely Euro. That is actually very interesting. I'm glad I actually looked at this. And even the Canadian does show some indications of that, and that strengthens it to landfall. Oh, and that impacts me. Cool. I was not seeing that. So we will be watching after Francine. We will be watching right off the coast of the Carolinas, because as we know, we can definitely see another named storm. Potentially. That's wouldn't surprise me at this point. The icon I don't think shows anything. Or it shows it way further out. My question is, what is going on? So this, oh. So this is some, okay, I see. Interesting. Interesting look today on the models here. I'm not even gonna lie with you guys on that one. Police aircraft is not leaving. And we have good news, you guys. Air recon is going south. We have good news. They're gonna do probably one more pass. Yep. They're gonna do one more pass and then shoot away. That is absolutely amazing. Thank you, recon. We're definitely staying here for recon now. And yep, that's a 980. So we went from a 983, 981, 980. And we found those wins. Interesting, you guys. I know we've been live for now over an hour. That's really good news, honestly. There's no one else live. I hope this gets out to people and people really keeps track on this stuff. I'm glad they're going right back into this. How do I... Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. This storm is looking nasty. Wow, this storm is really starting to look nasty. Let me go quickly take a look at microwave imagery on my phone. Okay. Oh, that's not good. Oh, wow. You guys, I think lightning is about to be on this. Look at the core in this. Holy cow, Francine is developing fast. I'm telling you guys, rapid densification is here. Look at that. You can literally see the eye wall. There is literally a eye wall on this northern side, and we're starting to see a southern portion. Yeah, I just got a shot. Yeah, I just got some word that they did actually found 90 knots. I'm so curious if they're gonna find if they find another like 80, 90 knots. I was not expecting that on recon. That's not a good look, you guys. I'm really being honest. This is not a good looking storm. This has really escalated from the beginning of the stream today. Of this stream, things have escalated. My question is, if we get any lightning strikes in this now, okay, no. Model show. Alright, so we are waiting on recon one more time, and then we're probably going to end the stream. So, that's the latest planning here about the stream. So, you're welcome, you guys, for streaming. I am very appreciated here. I'm actually getting word that the HERF model is overachieving. Oh no, it's not. It's the because it's a 980. It's not overachieving the HERF yet. Could change. I can definitely see strong. I hope Recon's going back into this. That's what I think they're doing. I mean, yeah. It's definitely going to take a little bit, though. Let's check ocean heat content for fun, you know? I do not know why it's taking forever to load. I do not like that. It's been like that tonight. I thought it was going to fix itself, but this computer is not acting that well. Look at that. The La Nina just continues to accelerate. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. Wow. You guys, I think we're on the cusp of rapid intensification. Look at that convection wrapping around the eye. Oh, wow. That's not good. Oh. So Recon, I'm debating what they are doing. We are watching Recon. They are now turning back. I thought they were going to go on the southern side, but I think what they are going to do is I, I think I do not know if they're just going to do this and then turn, or they're going to straighten now and just go straight west into it and do something like that, and then another one and then out. I'm debating. Oh my god, breaking news, you guys. We have breaking news. We have breaking news. We have breaking news. You guys, National Hurricane Center needs update. We got breaking news. I hear it is officially an 85-mile-an-hour storm. Francine is now an 85. We just had an emergency update. We do have a major update, you guys. We got some breaking news. We are at a now 979 with an 85-mile-an-hour storm, you guys. We were just thinking about having an 80-mile-an-hour storm in the beginning of the stream. We have now went up 20 miles an hour in the last 5 hours. So, yeah, this is going to continue to rapidly intensify tonight. And I am curious, you guys. This is definitely escalating. So, wow, that is, like I said, you guys, I was just talking about that. With that 90, it will be about, like, that 86 would be more like 75 equals 85 miles an hour. I exactly said that. So, they do say Air Force Reserve Hurricane Hunters indicate that Francie has strengthened with a maximum sustained wind near 85 miles an hour with higher gusts. That summary of this is at 10:20 information. So did they update the discussion? No. I was not expecting that. We are now at an 85. Sorry for the coughing. $85 an hour. That's significant. You guys, 85 miles an hour, so. Just give it a second here. Wow, look at that. I'm curious here. Once we start seeing lightning strikes, then we know this is all for the races. Oh, we got some issues. Oh, we got some issues. Oh, we now have some issues. You guys? Is it me or now I'm starting to see lightning strikes? Actually, you know what's a good place to look at this is windy.com. Windy.com. As we wait for recon, we'll probably go until like 12 a.m. That's like the furthest I'm gonna go because I am extremely tired and I need my sleep for school and I need to be ready for tomorrow's live stream. They better not like do that and then turn away. Like I'm gonna be mad, but I guess you guys are prepared for that. That has escalated though. Imagine if this got its act together. Maybe just a bit sooner. Maybe just a bit sooner. Oh, great. Blue visible. Oh, we can see some lightning strikes. Oh, what the flip? Oh, wow. $240 Fahrenheit. Damn. This... I don't know why it's taking forever to load. So long into I'm not feeling it anymore. Let's just get the latest